There are symbols that once seen can never be forgotten. They enter our minds like enigmas, planting questions that refuse to leave us in peace. The Vitruvian Man is one of these symbols, a simple drawing inked on paper yellowed by time. A naked man with arms and legs outstretched, inscribed within a circle and a square. Simple at first glance, but also mysterious. Why did Da Vinci draw it this way? What is the meaning of its perfect measurements? Was it merely a study of human proportion? Or does it conceal something far greater? Leonardo da Vinci was not just an artist. He was a visionary, a man who saw reality as an interconnected web of mathematics, philosophy, esotericism, and art. Every line of the Vitruvian Man is a gateway to hidden knowledge, a silent invitation for those who dare to look beyond the surface. What was Da Vinci trying to tell us with this drawing? Why was he inspired by the ideas of an ancient Roman architect named Vitruvius? And most importantly, what is the true meaning of the Vitruvian Man? Today, we will dive into this mystery. We will peel back the layers of this Renaissance enigma and reveal what Leonardo, the genius who saw the invisible, tried to show us. If we want to understand the mystery behind the Vitruvian Man, we must travel back in time. We need to leave the Renaissance behind and go even further, to ancient Rome, to the 1st century BC, where we find a man named Marcus Vitruvius Pollio. Vitruvius was an architect, engineer, and theorist. He believed that perfect architecture could not be based solely on aesthetics or intuition. For him, beauty was not subjective but a matter of mathematics, a reflection of the laws that govern the cosmos. In his treatise, De Architectura, Vitruvius wrote, "No temple can be harmonious if its proportions are not derived from the human body." This idea was revolutionary. Vitruvius saw the human body as the ideal model of symmetry and proportion. If a temple followed these same proportions, it would become an extension of universal harmony. But what does this mean in practice? Imagine a Roman temple. For Vitruvius, the columns, arches, and even the measurements of its rooms had to obey mathematical rules inspired by the very structure of the human body. This was not just an architectural idea, but a profound philosophical principle. Humanity is not separate from the cosmos. It is a reflection of it. This vision was not exclusive to the Romans. Ancient cultures, from the Egyptians to the Greeks, believed that mathematics was the language of creation. Pythagoras declared that everything is number, and that the harmony of the universe could be expressed through the golden ratio. The Egyptians used these proportions in the construction of the pyramids. The Greeks sculpted their gods and athletes following these same principles. Centuries later, Leonardo da Vinci encountered these ideas and became fascinated. If the human body truly reflected the order of the universe, then it was not just flesh and bone, it was a microcosm, a miniature version of the cosmos itself. And thus the Vitruvian Man was born. But if Da Vinci merely wanted to illustrate an architectural concept, why did he inscribe the man within a circle and a square? Why did he make it seem as though the figure was in motion? What was he trying to tell us? These are the questions that lead us to the next chapter, where we begin to unravel the geometric secrets of this enigmatic drawing. If there is one thing Leonardo knew, it was that nothing in his drawings was accidental. Every detail of the Vitruvian Man carries profound meaning, and perhaps the most important elements of this drawing are precisely its geometric shapes, the circle and the square. In esoteric and philosophical traditions, these two shapes represent fundamental principles of the universe. The square symbolizes matter, the physical world, what is earthly, stable, and fixed. It is the realm of reason, science, and order. The circle, on the other hand, represents the spirit, the infinite, the divine. It has no beginning or end, symbolizing eternity, cosmic movement, and the connection to something higher. By inscribing man within these shapes, Da Vinci was illustrating something far deeper than mere anatomy. He was showing that the human being is the bridge between heaven and earth, between the material and the spiritual. This idea has ancient roots. In Hermeticism, for example, we find the principle, as above, so below. Man is a reflection of the universe, and the universe is a reflection of man. Leonardo, who studied both science and mysticism, was certainly aware of this vision. His Vitruvian Man was not merely a technical study. It was a representation of the human being itself as the key to the mystery of existence. But there is an even more intriguing detail in this drawing: the position of the arms and legs. Have you noticed that the man seems to be in two positions at once? This was no mistake. It was a message. If we closely observe the Vitruvian Man, we notice something intriguing. He is not static. His arms and legs shift positions, creating the illusion of movement. But what does this mean? Why would Da Vinci, a master of precision, draw a man who appears to be shifting within his own form? The answer lies in the principle of transmutation. Since ancient times, various spiritual and philosophical traditions have taught that the human being is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic process. The concept of transmutation, fundamental in alchemy, suggests that everything is in constant evolution, from lead to gold, from ignorance to wisdom, from the profane to the sacred. Da Vinci, a scholar of alchemists and their quest for perfection, applied this principle to his drawing. The man within the square represents our physical and earthly nature, bound to the limitations of the body. The man within the circle symbolizes the soul, the consciousness that transcends matter. But between the two, there is a subtle change. The limbs expand, the body moves as if ascending to a new state of being. This is not merely an anatomical study, it is a map for human growth. This idea of evolution is not limited to spirituality. In science, Da Vinci was one of the first to study the human body in detail, uncovering its functions and exact proportions. He understood that the body was not merely a mechanical structure, but a living, mutable system capable of adaptation and growth. The same concept appears in Eastern traditions, where the body is seen as a vehicle for enlightenment. In yoga and tantra, Kundalini energy rises through the spine, transforming the being as it ascends. Here lies the true secret of the Vitruvian Man. He is not a representation of static perfection, but of the eternal process of transformation. The human being is not merely a harmonious geometric structure, but a bridge between the material and the divine. And this bridge is not fixed. It is in constant motion, evolving, transcending, becoming something more. It is this process of change that leads us to the final chapter, Da Vinci's ultimate revelation. Leonardo da Vinci was a man ahead of his time, but what few realize is that his genius was not limited to art and science. He was one of the first Western thinkers to attempt to unify technical knowledge, philosophy, spirituality, and the search for the meaning of life. The Vitruvian Man, more than an anatomical study, is proof of this intellectual restlessness. Although Da Vinci never explicitly used the term, he studied blood circulation, muscle impulses, and the harmony of the body in motion. His notes show that he understood, who was not satisfied with simply observing the world, but sought to understand its deepest mysteries. He saw the body as both an energetic and mechanical system. Centuries later, scientific discoveries about bioelectricity and the electrical nature of the heart and brain would confirm something that was already implicit in his studies. The human body operates through a subtle network of energy, similar to the Eastern concept of acupuncture meridians and the nadis of yoga. Another fascinating detail is that, in tracing the proportions of the human body, Da Vinci touched on a mystery echoed in various spiritual traditions: the concept of the body as a temple. In Hermeticism, Neoplatonism, and even esoteric Christianity, there exists the idea that the human body is a representation of divine order itself, a microcosm of the universe. It is no coincidence that many Gothic cathedrals were designed following the same golden ratio proportions found in the Vitruvian Man. This suggests that for Da Vinci, human perfection was not merely aesthetic, it was also spiritual. Another rarely mentioned curiosity is the connection between Da Vinci's drawing and the secret teachings of mystery schools. In various esoteric traditions such as Rosicrucianism and Freemasonry, the human being is depicted as a creature in potential evolution. an entity that must find balance between its earthly nature and its divine spark. The Vitruvian Man illustrates this in an astonishing way. The duality of its postures and the superimposition of forms suggest a process of expanding consciousness. This interpretation aligns with Da Vinci's own journey, a man who never accepted absolute truths and who lived in constant pursuit of self-improvement. Another hidden element in the drawing is its possible connection to Jungian archetypes. Centuries later, the psychologist Carl Gustav Jung would study the universal symbols residing in humanity's collective unconscious. The circle and the square present in the drawing are archetypal representations of the self and totality. The square evokes stability and rational structure, while the circle symbolizes infinity and the divine. The fact that man occupies both spaces suggests a synthesis of these opposites, something Jung considered essential in the process of individuation, the human journey toward inner wholeness. And there remains one last mystery, the signature of nature itself within the drawing. Modern studies in biomechanics reveal that the proportions established by Da Vinci apply not only to the human being, but also to the development of life in general. The angles and measurements present in the Vitruvian Man appear in the way trees grow, in the distribution of flower petals, in the nautilus shell, and even in planetary orbits. This reinforces the idea that Leonardo was not merely drawing a Yao man, he was attempting to reveal the hidden pattern of existence itself. The legacy of the Vitruvian Man is not merely an anatomical study nor just a mathematical exercise. It is a key, a code that reminds us that we are part of something much greater, something that pulses within every human being and within the very fabric of the cosmos. Da Vinci may not have left a clear explanation of its true meaning, but perhaps that was intentional. Perhaps his greatest lesson is that the search for truth is not found in books, drawings, or theories. It is found within us. Thank you for watching.